Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional land of the Catawba, the Kiowa, and the Sugaree peoples. We honor them. My name is Cosette Blackmer, and I will be the worship assistant for Reverend Dr. Amy Rio this morning. We are a flourishing, vibrant, radically welcoming congregation which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative, intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives boldly and acts justly. To all our visitors and members, we are very glad you're here, whether you're here in person or with us online, and we hope to see you again. Your presence is truly a gift to us. We have a few announcements this morning. Mark your calendars for the annual Charlotte Pride Interfaith Service 1 week from today, August 9th at 4 p.m. at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church. Reverend Amy is one of 3 featured speakers this year. Charlotte Pride is the weekend of August 15th and 16th. Please check your church email to sign up to help with our booth during this important event. The University Women's Group will meet Saturday, August 15th from 1 to 3 at Karen H's house. Kat will bring games so you can bring your easy-to-learn games to share with your women group's friends. Any of you who have been here when I tried to teach Wingspan know what I mean. You can bring a dessert to share, and Karen H. will provide coffee and unsweetened drinks. Please eat lunch before you come. If you would like to attend, please contact Karen H. or email womensgroupug@puc.org. Chalice circles are small groups that meet regularly to explore our monthly themes through reflection, thoughtful conversation, and deep listening. Groups typically meet once each month from September through June, with meeting dates and times determined by the members of each group. We are seeking facilitators for the coming year, and we need people to register if they would like to be in a Chalice Circle. Please check your weekly emails for the link to sign up. There is a Tibetan feast offering tonight at 5:30 here in the sanctuary, offered by Clear Light Dharma. The feast, or Sog, is a communal sharing of food which expresses equanimity. Each person brings food or drink to share with everyone, and each plate is given some of each person's offering. That is the practice of equanimity. Inwardly, the feast is a practice of one taste. One taste is practiced by eating what is offered without preferences. Unless there is a health reason, the food is eaten without favoring what you like and without rejecting what you don't like. No lima beans for me, thank you. That is a practice of one taste. Everyone who would like to come is invited. You may bring food, drink, or flowers. For other important information about our vibrant community, please see your order of service, or if you are on our email list, check your monthly newsletter and weekly announcements. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something that you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
The light of our chalice reminds us that we are home. When we gather with our chalice lit, whatever the location may be, it is home. May this light guide us to a place of rest and peace and connection. I invite you to please join me now in singing the words, the lighting of our chalice, the symbol of our faith, and they are found in our bulletin. I invite you now to please rise and body your spirit for our call to worship, which is found in your bulletin. Do not retreat into your private world, that place of safety, sheltered from the storm, where you may tend your garden, seek your soul, and rest with loved ones where the fire burns warm.
To tend the garden is a precious thing, but dearer still the one where all may roam. The weeds of poison and poverty and war demand your care, who call the earth your home.
To seek your soul is a precious thing, but you will never find it on your own. Only among the clamor and threat and pain of other people's need will love be known.
To rest with loved ones is a precious thing, but peace of mind exacts a higher cost. Your children will not rest and play in quiet while they still hear the crying of the lost.
Do not retreat into your private world. There are more ways than firesides to keep warm. There is no shelter from the rage of life, so meet its eye and dance within the storm. I invite you to join us for our first hymn found in our gray hymnal, number 126, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. Please be seated. Invite any of our children to come forward for our time for all ages with Miss Jennifer.
We have to have a little hug first, though. Do you want to sit here so you can see the book? Yeah. Hello. I think we might have one more. Is she coming? All right, I'll wait. We're going to wait for all of our friends today. Do you want to go? Hello. Oh, you have friends with you today. Okay. Today we are going to be reading a story. We Are the Water Protectors by Carol Lindstrom and Michaela Goad. Oh, no. Okay. We're losing them. We're losing them. All right. Water is the first medicine, Nokomis told me. Nokomis means grandmother. We come from water. It nourished us inside our mother's body as it nourished us here on Mother Earth. Water is sacred, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. The river's rhythm runs through my veins, runs through my people's veins. My people talk of the black snake that will destroy the land, spoil the water, poison plants and animals, wreck everything in its path. When my people first spoke of the black snake, they foretold that it wouldn't come for many, many years. And you can see they're telling it from grandmother to children to grandmother to children. Now the black snake is here. Its venom burns the land, coursing through the water, making it unfit to drink. What does the snake look like? What do y'all think that looks like? The poison? What does it look like? Does it look like a pipe? Maybe something's in the pipe? Take courage. I must keep the black snake away from my village's water. I must rally the people together to stand for the water, to stand for the land, to stand as one against the black snake. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. It will not be easy. We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. The winged ones, was that bird? The crawling ones, the four-legged and the two-legged, the plants, trees, rivers, and lakes. The earth, we are all related. Tears like waterfalls stream down, track down my face, track down my people's faces. Water has its own spirit, Nokomis told me. Water is alive. Water remembers our ancestors who came before us, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. We are stewards of the earth. Our spirits have not been broken. What's this? What are they doing? We are water protectors. We stand. The black snake is in for the fight of its life. So what are they doing? Do y'all see? They're protesting. They're standing together as one to protect their water and to protect their land. Yeah? You like that? Do you want to come talk more and play? Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
At this time, we enter into a time for ritual and sacred sharing. We share joys and sorrows, concerns and milestones. Today, we light a candle first for all who are being impacted by the fires and storms around the globe. For peace to prevail in the Middle East, and our leaders to be guided by visions of peace and not visions of war. For all who are impacted by ICE raids and activity. For all areas of violence around the world, and especially the ongoing war in Ukraine. And for our country, that we might live into being a society guided by justice and compassion for every person. Now, at this time, you are invited to come forward as you feel led. You may come forward along the far wall. We have our prayer stand. You can fill out a prayer card to place on the stand. We have our candles, and Cassette can help you light a candle of your own joy or concern, or you may place a stone in our shared water. Please come forward as you are called. We now light a few more candles for the things we hold in our hearts which remain unspoken, and also for those who are joining us virtually to honor what is in their hearts as well. Now, I invite us now to a time for quiet rest, meditation, or prayer. I will sound the singing bowl, and then we will have a period of silence, which will be followed by our musical meditation. During this time of silence, I invite you to settle more fully into your seat, relax your shoulders, feel more connected to the earth beneath you, and to deepen your breath, gently and deeply breathing in and out, and inviting into your heart what it is that you need this morning.
Our first reading is selected lyrics from Exile by Taylor Swift. I've seen this film before, and I didn't like the ending. I'm not your problem anymore, so who am I offending now? So who am I defending now? You were my crown. You were my town. Now I'm in exile, seeing you out. I think I've seen this film before, so I'm leaving out the side door. Our second reading is from Psalms 137, 1 through 3 in the Hebrew Scriptures. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yes, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hung our harps upon the willows in the midst of it. For there those who carried us away captive asked us for a song. And those who plundered us requested mirth, saying, "Sing us a songs of Zion."
Exile is a prominent theme in the story of the Hebrews. Now, apart from Moses leading the Hebrews out of Egypt and enslavement, the exile is the most significant event in the Hebrew Scriptures. The exile itself began about 2,500 years ago with two major nations overtaking the Jewish states of Israel and Judah. The Assyrians and then the Babylonians conquered the Jewish lands and deported the majority of the Hebrew people to faraway lands. Now, our second wisdom reading today was written during the Babylonian exile, where the writer says that they sat by the rivers of Babylon and they cried when they remembered their homeland of Zion. How can one sing the songs of Zion by the rivers of Babylon? The Hebrews had been forcibly removed from their homeland, never to see it again, and they believed their homeland was where God resided, and it certainly was where their heart resided. They could not be further removed if they had tried, and their hearts were broken. Now today, as we continue our sermon series of Taylor Swift songs, today focuses on this haunting duet with Bon Iver entitled Exile. It's about the ending of a romantic relationship, a relationship that felt like home. The song includes the line, "You were my town." With the ending of the relationship, the couple felt like they were permanently in exile from each other and from what felt like home. Now, all of us here have experienced, might currently experience different ways of being in exile. It might be from some kind of broken relationship, perhaps with family or a friend or even a romantic partner. We also might feel like we are in exile away from a geographical location which feels like home to us, like the exile that we read about in the Hebrew Scriptures. We might feel as if we are exiled from meaningful work or a sense of purpose. Exile is a removal, a wall, a separation. Now, many of you know that I was born and raised just outside Asheville. And after I finished undergrad in Greensboro and then my Master of Divinity in Durham, the bishop appointed me to a church in downtown Asheville. Now I was coming home. Now, it wasn't to the community I grew up in just outside Asheville. I didn't really keep up with people from elementary or high school. I had never really felt like I connected with them. but I always felt connected to the southern Appalachian Mountains. When I was in 5th grade and I was having a tough time, my grandfather, who was a minister, had died, and I was in the country, and this is back in the late 70s. We all walked over the place, no cell phones, no one knew where we were, but we were okay, because certainly all the neighbors saw where I was walking, and they would all tell my mom. So I had walked to the back of the church that we attended, this little country church, and behind it was a cemetery, and I was sitting there at the edge of that cemetery, and it had this amazing view of all the mountains surrounding me. And the minister of the church came out, and he knew I was grieving, that I was sad. And he said, this view reminds me of my favorite Bible verse. Now, I wasn't really crazy about that minister for various reasons, but that became my favorite Bible verse too. It's from Psalm 125, verse 2. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so God's love surrounds us from this time on and forevermore. Over the years that I lived in the Asheville area, or in Asheville as an adult, the surrounding mountains gave me great joy and peace and hope and even comfort when I needed it. Now, after we had lived in Asheville about 13 years, stuff happens. We all know this. Family and life and job situations. And so my family and I moved to Greensboro. And the first few months I lived there, and this is 21 years ago now, I began talking about Greensboro, where I had gone to undergrad. I'd lived there before, but I started referring to it as the God-forsaken flatlands. Greensboro deserves much better than that. It's really a nice town in many ways. But I felt like I had been exiled from my spiritual home. The mountains were a spiritual geography for me, a spiritual geography. Now, a spiritual geography may not be an exact place or a particular land or land feature, but a spiritual geography is whatever makes you feel like you are at home, a welcoming, comforting, supportive, loving home. Now, after a few months, I did stop calling Greensboro names, and I was so thankful for all the wonderful things it offered my family, and especially my children. They were able to go to high school there before I moved to Winston-Salem, and there were just so many positive things. Now, I may never have fully learned to sing the songs of Zion while I was in the flatlands, but I could look for the good things and focus on them and be thankful. Now, finding our spiritual geography is what will enable us to find joy and hope during the days of exile, whatever our exile might be. So, how do we find our own spiritual geography? Let's ask ourselves, what makes our heart feel full and our own inner divine light shine more brightly? Exile is about broken relationship, a removal. So what is it that provides healing and connection? Now, spiritual geography does not always mean an actual location. It might mean some kind of location or geographical landscape. I know over the years I've been here, I've heard a number of you talk about some place that you haven't used the word spiritual geography, but a place that feels like home or gives you joy. People who've said, well, I've just got to get up to the mountains for a few days, I need that peace, or, I've not had that yearly beach trip yet, and I have to get there. So a spiritual geography might be some kind of actual location for us, or just some kind of landscape like water or a lake, a stream, a creek. But spiritual geography can also be people. People who fill our hearts, and people who bring us joy. It might be people who we love and we see on a regular basis, or people who we love and we don't live in the same area, but we still connect in so many different ways that we can. Or it might be people who we don't know personally, but people who inspire us and help us live towards a better way of existing. Now that might be a saint that we've read about, or perhaps a public figure. No, anytime I listen to Michelle Obama speak, it feels like home for me and gives me hope and peace and joy. So a spiritual geography might be a location, geographical feature, might be people, but it also can be various forms of art, music or poetry or some kind of tangible piece of art. I think one of the reasons that Taylor Swift has been so popular is because it's helped so many people feel like they are at home and they have a community. And when I think of poetry, for me personally, think of John O'Donohue or Amanda Gorman and what their poetry, how it fills my heart and helps my inner divine flame burn so much more brightly. Or for me personally, the writings of Jane Austen. Every time I reread one of those books again. And we can think of art. So many of us have some kind of special object in our home. It might actually be worth some money. It might be worth nothing, right? But some kind of piece of art which brings us joy, makes us feel at home and at peace. So a spiritual geography can be a location, people, or music, poetry, art. But also, our church is a spiritual geography. As we gather, we all come from the various exiles which exist in our lives, the separation and distance that we just cannot always avoid. And it's a part of life. Our church family is a spiritual geography, is the opposite of exile. While we encounter and journey the various exiles in our lives, our church is a home and welcome and support and love. Exile is about division, but a spiritual geography provides wholeness and inclusion. And as UUs, we know of the 7 values that we hold so dearly, the values which are centered around love. Inclusion is such an important one. Piedmont UU Church, our church family, it's a spiritual geography grounded in the key value of inclusion. So today, I invite you to spend some time, perhaps you might have time later today or sometime in the coming days, and think about what are the spiritual geographies in your own life. Location, or people, or writings, or art, all the various things that can bring you joy and that feel like home. So I invite you to think about what are the spiritual geographies, what provides healing and inclusion after separation or division. And then I invite you perhaps to share that with a trusted friend, with someone here in this church family, and then to give thanks for those spiritual geographies, and to give thanks, and then to share that love and inclusion with others around us, so that all who are experiencing an exile might be able to find a home and to feel that wonderful divine love. May it be so, blessed be. Amen.
Thank you, Ann. We know that the financial contributions to this congregation come from sacrifice and hard work. We are so grateful for this and commit together to ensure that the funds we gather collectively do a greater good for ourselves and our world than they could do alone. May there be an offering to sustain and grow this life and mission of this congregation. May we give with love and in hope. This month, we are sharing our offering plate with Time Out Youth. Time Out Youth's mission is to support lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning youth by offering vital programs, fostering unconditional acceptance, and creating safe spaces for self-expression through leadership, community, support, and advocacy. In a moment, our host will pass around the baskets, and we ask that you pass these baskets down your rows as you receive them. You may place your gift this morning in the baskets as they make their way around the room, and you are always welcome to give online at puuc.org or at the number, or texting the number 73256. Today's offering will now gratefully be received.
As always, we give thanks for the gifts contained within these baskets and for all the gifts that you offer our beloved community. I invite you now to please rise and body your spirit for our closing hymn. It's found in our gray hymnal, number 4, I Brought My Spirit to the Sea. Before we extinguish our chalice, I want to offer thanks for all the many people who help make our service possible, all the wonderful volunteers we have each Sunday morning. I also ask if you are able, it's always helpful to have people carry the hymnals. Okay, the word just went off my brain, the hymnals, back over to the cart near the piano. So let us do as we do each Sunday, and with thankful hearts for all the very dear things for which we are grateful. Let's give thanks today, either with thanks in our hearts or with words for others to hear.
At the beginning of the service, I signed up to volunteer at the Pride Fest, and I was grateful to see there were 2 empty spots that someone else could fill.
Well, yes, X, thank you for signing up to volunteer with Pride. And thank you for all the people who always help, volunteer and sign up for our Pride booth, both in Charlotte and Salisbury in September. So,
We should all be grateful for the new banner out front that shows our dedication to peace.
yes, for the new banner out front, which shows our dedication to peace. And Jack, thank you for spearheading that and getting that in motion too.
That's Except for her leading the lovely llamas ritual last night, and Karen for her lovely sheep diet. So there are pictures on the Discord if you didn't see it.
Okay. So, yes, very much thanks to Cosette leading our Lammas observance last night, and Karen did something last night. I don't know, but thank you. Oh, you baked one of those beautiful sheaves of bread. Oh, they are amazing if y'all have never seen them. So, thank you. Yes, art, absolutely. So. Well, we are grateful for all of these things and so much more which we hold in our hearts today. Let us go forth, knowing that divine light will always guide us to a place we call home. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light, its warmth, and its meaning with us until we meet again. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we wander. May it be so. For our closing song, we form a circle. You may hold hands if you would like, or you may simply place your hands on your heart.